It's time for round 2 of the OHSAA Volleyball Playoffs as the 31st seed Niles McKinley takes on the 39 seed Akron Buchtel Griffins. I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this morning live at Marlington High School on behalf of Marlington High School. As you can see in the top left of our stream, we do support the M now, opposed to having nothing in that top left corner. That is there just to further show we are here for the school of Marlington. Due to logistic constraints with 1022, we have to use my stream and my equipment here at Marlington. Eventually, we hope to figure that out, but for now, it will air here and, as always, re-air on the official Spectrum channel a few days later. Niles McKinley looking to book their place back at a big game, as they will go to Akron North, or excuse me, they will play here once again on Wednesday before the winner of that game will go to Akron North. Looking at the bracket that is playing today, you have Niles 31 and Buchtel 39, and then Marlington, the 1 seed overall, takes on the 43 seed Cleveland Shaw at 1 p.m. Winners of both matchups will take each other on Wednesday evening once again here at Marlington High School before the winner goes off to Akron North for a neutral site, and then the winner from there goes to Alliance High School for regionals. A long ways to get there. McKinley will send the ball away, and after a long wait, we are underway at Marlington High School. The Griffins on the right and the Dragons on the left. McKinley looking for the first point, blocked at the net, shoved over, and the point goes to McKinley. Caroline Cormel able to set the ball over the Griffins' defensive line, and the Red Dragons strike first. A beautiful play at the net by the Dragons star. The junior has been elite this year and looks to continue to do so. Buchtel looking for a response, sent over by Struchings. Returned and out of play. Feliciano unable to find a spot in play. Niles leads it 2-0. After a late arrival at Marlington, the Dragons have not skipped a beat. They look to go up 3-0. Marino sends away. Engel plays forward, pushed over by Samuel, kept in the air at the center by Court, and it goes out. Buchtel gets their first point of the playoffs. Buchtel as well looking for win number 1 of 2024. Same with Cleveland Shaw, who we will see later. That serve a little bit low. Niles gets the point, and they will get back possession. Reagan Kelly will sub in for Lily Copeland. Hannah Grimm back to serve for McKinley. She enters play with 85 kills, 33 aces, 26 blocks, 83 digs, and 5 assists. Buchtel trying to return, blocked by Cormel, and that is enough for the McKinley point. She smacked it right down at the logo, and the Griffins couldn't reply. That will be her second point of the afternoon. Grimm sends it away. The ceiling assists Niles as they get the point. Something to keep in mind, the ceiling here at Marlington High School is very small. It is very short. It is going to be tough to deal with, especially looking at two teams who deal with high ceilings. Sent over and returned instantaneously by Buchtel. Cormel set up, gets the kill at the net. Beautiful work by Niles McKinley as Caroline Cormel is able to get some open space and get the point. Possession will stay with McKinley, 6-1 through 7 serves. Grimm sends it over. Buchtel looking to return. Struchings plays central. Engel hits it over. The dig from Santiago keeps it alive, and McKinley unable to send it back. Kelly denied by the net. Buchtel will make a change as Spears subs in. 6-2 McKinley, and set number 1 is your score. Samuel back deep, sends it over, and misses well beneath the net. A little bit of an awkward angle. Looked like She hit it with more of her fingertips than with the palm of her hand. McKinley will take it as they lead 7-2. Cormel sends over the libero. Evans able to keep it in play as she returns. Cormel bumps. The set and spike combo at the net is returned by Buchtel. The spike coming from Jones. Returned by the Dragons as Santiago is able to get the point via the tip. Niles McKinley looking good thus far in the matchup as time is called. Buchtel wants to talk things over as we head into our first break. Niles McKinley leads at 8-2. Niles McKinley leading early in set number 1, 8-2 over the Akron Buchtel Griffins. This is a round 2 OHSAA volleyball tournament matchup as we are well underway. Fall sports, they are getting to their conclusion. The playoffs starting last Monday for soccer led the way for this, as thus far we have had some interesting results in tournament play across soccer. Volleyball looks to be no different today with a lot of matchups. McKinley gets into double figures with the point as Cormel continues her excellent afternoon. Something to note about the volleyball playoffs. Usually the higher seed would host in these early round matchups. However, for volleyball, unless it's a round 1 matchup, there is a group of 4 teams that will play at the highest seed high school. It's very weird how it works, but that is how the OHSAA deemed the tournament to go. And to their credit, it does work. It gives the teams an opportunity for a mini tournament within the tournament to win sectionals, and I kind of like how it works. Santiago sends it over and finds some hardwood. A great return by Serena Kelger Santiago. Santiago enters play with 31 kills, 10 aces, 14 blocks, 70 digs, and 2 assists. Buchtel looking to return. They cannot. McKinley leads at 13-2 in set number 1. And this is what we expected to see from Niles McKinley. They enter play with a 6-16 record, but a couple of good wins on there. East 3-2, a hard-fought match. Harding a 3-0 victory back home in Youngstown. 2 good teams they were able to take down this year. They've had some struggles, a lot of 3-0 and 2-0 losses, but they have been able to do nicely so far in the tournament as Cormel gets another ace. It's all McKinley, 15-2. And this will be good for Niles. If this is their last win of the season, they will have a lot to work with going into next year when reviewing this film, as they have done a lot well today as they lead at 17-2. Or excuse me, 16-2. Cormel continuing to serve for McKinley. And she gets the point. No return from Easter. Caroline Cormel, the junior, looking to build going into the offseason as she prepares for what will be a big senior year. This is a young team with Niles McKinley. A lot of young talent that can be good in the future years as they now get another point, leading by 16. But you go down their roster, junior, 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 sophomore, junior, senior, senior, sophomore, junior, sophomore, senior, senior, sophomore, sophomore. A lot of underclassmen on this roster, and same with Buchtel as they look to improve in years to come. Down 19-2 against McKinley in set number 1. Cormel continuing to serve. There is a realistic chance that she is able to serve until the set ends as the Dragons reach the 20s. Making teams uncomfortable is the best way to win volleyball matches, and McKinley is doing a tremendous job of doing that to the Griffins, as once again Cormel picks out a spot perfectly. When looking at Buchtel's defense, what I'm noticing, there's a gap in the center of the court. You will see the way they line up on your screen on the right side. 2 players in a line, 1 nearest to the skybox and 3 back. There's a wide open area that Cormel picks out right there, and she gets the point. Every time she exploits that same spot, what I would like to see, you keep your shape more at the net, maybe have 1 person home, maybe 2 at the net, 1 on each side, get someone more central, and you fill that space. Buchtel, their first return in a little while. Cormel plays forward. Marino lines it up, and it's sent over by Campbell. Buchtel sends it over once again, and it goes wide. McKinley leads by 21. A dominant performance in set number 1 by Niles McKinley. Cormel sends it over and can't get it to go. Buchtel gets a point, down 20. Right now, this set, it's going to be a loss. This is where they can work on some things, get their mechanics right, and maybe get a couple of points off McKinley. That has to be the goal right now if you're Akron Buchtel. Set far side, Jones just misses behind. A good idea by Niles McKinley, but they just couldn't execute. Buchtel, 2 points in a row. Definitely a close call on that back line, but they were patient. That is huge. Knowing when to make an attempt and knowing when to hold off is huge, as once again, they do a good job as they earn their 3rd straight point. And a lot of it is due to Caroline Cormel being not on the court as she was subbed out recently. Jones tries her luck once again. Buchtel starting to get a little bit of rhythm, and the rhythm goes away immediately. McKinley reaches set point. 24-5 in set number 1. Serena Santiago on the left side getting ready to end the set for McKinley. And it looks like we do have an injury for Buchtel. Banks, it looks like a little bit shaken up on the last play, and she'll be helped off the court. (24-5) McKinley at set 1. We step aside. The injured Griffin able to get off the court with the help of her teammates. 24-5 McKinley is your score in set number 1. Santiago back for the Dragons, looking to seal a victory in the opening frame. And she gets it. Smacked right into the scorer's table as the Red Dragons roll into Marlington and dominate 30 serves and a 25-5 victory in set number 1 for Niles McKinley. It could not have gone any more to the game plan provided by the quote-unquote home team in this matchup. We will step aside. Niles McKinley well en route to a spot on Wednesday night's game against Marlington or Shaw. Niles McKinley dominating Buchtel, 1 set in the books, and it's a 25-5 victory for the Red Dragons. Set number 2 about to get underway at Marlington High School. If you are just tuning in, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this afternoon live on the SmeeSports YouTube channel, the official streaming partner of Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance, and as well as Alliance and Marlington High Schools. The game is on the channel here due to logistical reasons, but once again, as you can see in the description, this stream, no profit here. All it is to give the students of the video production career tech class hosted at Alliance High School a chance to operate a broadcast in a playoff atmosphere. It's great that we're able to do this, and our partnership will continue into the winter season. Hopefully, we will have some details as for what games will be here, what games will be fully produced at Alliance High School, and for what games will we be at, as that is the biggest question. A lot of good contests for both Alliance and Marlington heading into the winter, especially at the end of the season. Both Marlington and Alliance have trips to Louisville. Those will be interesting contests. Marlington and Alliance play each other twice, as they usually do, so those will be big. Once again, West Branch, another big game, as they are the quote-unquote dominant force in the EBC, as shown last night in their big victory over Carrollton on the gridiron, as the Warriors now improved to 9-0. Going back to this matchup, it is all Niles McKinley. They have come out and they have showed out at Marlington High School. This is what we expected to see. Buchtel, a team rebuilding, looking for some consistency and looking for some heart. They have the heart. It's just they need the consistency. And while this year and this match might be lost, they have plenty of time heading into next year to make the necessary adjustments to once again be a force in the Akron City Conference. McKinley looking to open the scoring in set number 1. They can! Hannah Grimm on the far side opens the scoring for the Red Dragons. Beautiful teamwork by McKinley, as that has been their calling card this afternoon. Their chemistry, their ability to work with each other and communicate, that has put them in the driver's seat to win the match early on. Buchtel scrambling, trying to return. The beautiful setup. It doesn't matter. Buchtel tried returning, but Cormel able to get the point as she skies it off of Griffin. Once again, going back to that low ceiling, that is a huge point of emphasis in this match. You can't let the ball travel nearly as high as you would on some other courts, such as Alliance High School. McKinley gets the point. They are looking good, up 3-0 early. And you can see them on your screen, Marlington getting ready while watching this game, as if they're able to take down Shaw, they would play the winner of this matchup on Wednesday at 7 p.m. We will not be here for that game, as I will be at Mount Union for their volleyball clash with Baldwin Wallace. But speaking of games we will be at, Thursday evening, Marlington takes on Louisville in a boys soccer clash. The game will be live streamed here with, of course, the help of the video productions class. McKinley looking to make it 5. They scramble, a couple nice digs. Santiago returns. Buchtel goes again, looking for their opening point. Assisted by the ceiling, they almost get it, but Cormel returns. Buchtel, savvy, sees the ball fall out of play, and they earn their first point of set number 2. Good execution by Buchtel. They forced McKinley to scramble, and they knew the ball was going out of play. No need to touch it. They'll take their point and take possession. Buchtel looking for another point. They had a good run at the end of the first set, but it won't continue. Too shy on the serve, as McKinley will take back possession, up 5-1. Grimm, we saw her open the scoring in set number 2 moments ago. Now she is back to serve for the Red Dragons. And she picks out a spot on the hardwood perfectly. It's an ace for Hannah Grimm. That could not have been executed any better. She once again exploited the defense of the Griffins. They need a better shape. They need to better spread out on the court. There's 6 players. They can mark a region each. If they can do so, they have a chance to return the ball. This time it just goes into the bleachers. A Griffin dives. I believe that is Ingold going for the ball as Ingold was unable to bring it back into play. You have to appreciate the hustle from the Griffins. Excellent play. It might not be going their way, but they are still showing plenty of heart, and that you have to appreciate. Set forward, lining it up for Kelly. Kelly sends over the ceiling, gives the ball to Scrutchings. The return, not there. The Griffins get a point as they are looking a little bit better in set number 2 in comparison to the first set. Natalie Durr subs on for McKinley as Hannah Grimm goes to the sidelines. A shallow serve as once again the Griffins unable to get it over the net. That has been a huge struggle for them today, and they will need to correct it heading into next year. Annie D'Urso in the paint for McKinley, sends it over. And some miscommunication gives the point to McKinley. The bump forward ran into another Griffin as Buchtel had nowhere else to send it. D'Urso sends it over. Buchtel looking to keep it close, pushes, misses low, and maybe tipped down by Jones. Nonetheless, the McKinley Red Dragons are in double figures. Talk about domination. We talk about teams like Marlington, teams like Mount Union. They're known for suffocating opponents early, and that's exactly what McKinley has done to Buchtel. They're not known for it, but today they have made it their mission, and they have succeeded. This time around, Akron Buchtel does get the point. And speaking of Buchtel, they will be fun to watch on the basketball court this year as Holy Name transfer Maxwell Boland will be set to make his debut in a couple months for the Griffins. I'm hoping to get out to a couple games to go and see Max play a couple of games, as if you're unaware of him, you will know him very quick. He is one heck of a player, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do in Akron. 11-3 McKinley, 14 serves into set number 2. Santiago sends it over. Bumped forward by Scrutchings and returned by Ingle. Jones set up perfectly and finds the hardwood just outside the arc on Buchtel's side. Beautiful teamwork and beautiful placement by Jones. Santiago continuing to serve. McKinley up by 9. Make it 10. Buchtel couldn't gather their thoughts defensively, and that gives the point to the Red Dragons. It looks like some Marlington players, seeing the result, will go off to the locker room and begin their preparations for their game starting at 1 p.m. Santiago sends, can't get it over. Buchtel gets the point. And this Buchtel team, it might not look good on paper, the score, but they are looking a lot better and a lot more refined in set number 2. And that is all you can ask of them right now. You're not expecting them to go and win this match, compete in the playoffs, and make a surprise run. You're asking them to get back to the fundamentals, get back to the basics, and put a decent product on the court. McKinley, the better team thus far and the better team on the court. This was the result expected, but Buchtel, they can use this playoff experience to nurture this young team and make sure they can come back next year and potentially get one off of McKinley or another opponent. Good communication, and the ceiling helps, but in that instance, it will give the point to McKinley, as if the ceiling is used to hit the ball over the net, then the point goes to the team that would be receiving that hit. I like that rule here. It's a short ceiling, like I've said many times. It's one thing if it skies off the ceiling on the power of, say, Buchtel, if they receive this and it skies, like it almost did. but it's a different thing if they're bumping it over, using the ceiling, and getting an advantage that way. 16 for McKinley through 20 serves as Copeland is back deep to serve. The senior has 15 kills, 20 aces, 1 block, 116 digs, and 4 assists. So far through now 59 sets played, 58 entering play today. Buchtel unable to keep it in bounds, hits it out of play once again. McKinley with 17, well in the driver's seat to winning set number 2. Copeland lining up, sends it over. Jones fighting for a jump ball at the net, hits it over and gets the point off the tip. Jones in a tight battle with Engel got the better of the Griffins and earns the point for the Red Dragons. That was a great response by the Lady Griffins. They don't have the height advantage against Jones at the net. That is clear. But they fought. They were scrappy. But this time, McKinley gets the skim off the net and the ace. Copeland has done an excellent job serving this sequence. A lot of aces for McKinley today. They have been strong, and with a point here, will enter the 20s once again. Buchtel, they need to return. They do a nice job of doing so, and McKinley has some miscommunication. Buchtel now matches the output of set number 1. (19-5). Niles McKinley leads. Buchtel needing a huge comeback to make something happen. And we will have a mulligan on the serve. The libero Evans sends it over. A good serve, far side Graham, and it's blocked by the Griffins. Buchtel starting to get some momentum late in set number 2. They have now outscored what they have done in set number 1. That is a victory that they can take into set number 3 and into the offseason. It's the little things that they're going to use. A beautiful dig, but no return. The effort's still there from Buchtel, but McKinley's potency too much to deal with. Cormel comes back on for the Red Dragons as she looks to seal the deal in the set. And Jones on the serve, able to get the point for McKinley as she forces another Buchtel error. Jones sends it over, goes low, it just misses the net. Buchtel gets it over, a good return. Cormel able to tip it over. Engel keeps it in the air, skied by Feliciano and into the bleachers. McKinley 3 points away from sealing set number 2. This has been an efficient game from Niles McKinley. The match started around 30 minutes ago, and we are almost 2 sets in, and we will be 2 sets in most likely 2 serves, given the way McKinley has played. 23-6 Red Dragons in set number 2. Jones sends it over. Did she keep it in play? No, she did not, just misses over the back line. Buchtel with possession. They need a lot if they would like to compete in set number 2, but most likely here is where they work on mechanics and try and make McKinley work a little bit and maybe, just maybe, fatigue them enough to give the Griffins a chance in set number 3. Cormel lined up perfectly, kept in play. The dig almost kept it alive. A good effort on the near side by Scrutchings, but no return. McKinley back at set point. Santiago subs out. Addison Campbell now on. Cox sends it over and gets the ace to seal the deal in set number 2. A great performance once again from the Red Dragons as Niles McKinley continues to dominate, up 2-0 overall. We will step aside and rejoin the action in set number 3 in around 3 minutes. Set 3 about to get underway at Marlington High School. Niles McKinley up 2-0 against the Akron Buchtel Griffins. If you are just tuning in, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this afternoon for this Round 2 OHSAA Tournament Volleyball match. McKinley well on their way to a matchup against the winner of Marlington and Shaw Wednesday evening back in M-Town at 7 p.m. Once again, we will not be streaming that game as I am back over at Mount Union for another OAC clash between Mount Union and Baldwin Wallace, with JCU leaving the conference. That is now the premier rivalry in the Ohio Athletic Conference. Back underway for set number 3. Buchtel looking for a response, but Cormel starts it off with a kill at the net. Being the middle hitter, she has done an excellent job today, commanding the center of the court. Without her, this could be a slightly different match, as she has been the heart and soul of Niles McKinley Volleyball. Buchtel ties it up as McKinley unable to get the ball over the net. In around an hour, we will see Marlington take on Cleveland Shaw live once again on the SmeeSports YouTube channel, your official streaming partner of Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance High School, and as you can see on your screen today, Marlington High School. Buchtel, their first lead of the match. Like I said, little victories. This is a little victory. They lead. Now, can they keep momentum? Can they defend well at the net? No, they cannot, as Cormel ties it back up. I said it moments ago, and I will say it again. Caroline Cormel is the heart and soul of Niles McKinley Volleyball. Her ability to play this well and command as a middle, and it looks like at some points an outside hitter, has been tremendous. She has dominated the net, and that has given McKinley their lead and their most likely win in 3 sets. And no return from Buchtel. McKinley snatches back the lead. This is Niles McKinley getting back to the basics. They struggled early in the first couple of serves of set number 3. Now they're back in a rhythm. They need to keep doing what they did so well in the opening sets, and they're back to doing it, making Buchtel uncomfortable. That is the difference. Buchtel, they need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I preach it no matter the level. If I'm calling a game here for Marlington Alliance, or if I'm at Mount Union calling a game, if you make your opponent feel uncomfortable, they then have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Otherwise, they're not going to win. And that is the case here today. McKinley up 5-2 through 7 serves in set number 3. Hannah Grimm back once again to serve. The servers today from McKinley have done a tremendous job, as they really were expected to do this, but their mechanics have been impeccable. Once again, Buchtel unable to return the ceiling, assisting McKinley. It'll be interesting for Marlington after the games here to see how they adjust to a gym like Akron North, which has a high ceiling, and then Alliance, which is a double-decker gym, if you will. It will be an adjustment to play at a facility very similar to Medina High School back in the Cleveland area. They're very similar gyms and a high ceiling. Marlington, they have forced their teams to make mistakes by skying the ball. They won't be able to rely on that. What adjustments will they make? It'll be very interesting to see what approach they come out with in game number 2. And it's another point for McKinley. They lead it 8-2 through 10 serves. And a timeout called. Buchtel wants to talk things over. Things started well for the Griffins, but it is McKinley leading 8-2 in set number 3. Looking at our broadcast schedule, heading into what will be the second last week of October. Thursday evening, we will be at Marlington Middle School, assuming everything holds up at that field, as the Dukes take on Louisville for a playoff match of boys soccer. It is going to be a good contest. Louisville, congrats to them. They took down Hawken in Gates Mills this past week, and Marlington once again took down Alliance at Rock Hill 4-0. It will be a good game between two rivals that, from an outside perspective, if you don't know the region, you would think would be conference rivals, but they're not. When I came here, I was very certain that Louisville and Marlington were in the same conference, but I was completely wrong. The conference, as of right now, West Branch, Marlington, Salem, Alliance, Carrollton, and Minerva, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's expanding. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure I saw that we're expanding to 6 teams, or from 6 teams in the EBC, but that's a next year question. Buchtel scrambling, unable to return, as once again the ceiling does wonders for the Dragons. Cormel back for McKinley, sends it over. A good return, a strong return from the Griffins. Another one goes out of play. The Dragons now reach double figures once again. For my coverage next week, Wednesday, I will be at the Timken Gymnasium as Mount Union hosts Baldwin Wallace. Thursday, once again, mention the soccer game. Friday, I will be somewhere for Q92 Sports, calling a Week 10 match. And then on Saturday, Mount Union hosts Ohio Northern in another OAC clash. 1 p.m. first set at the Timken Gymnasium. That will be my coverage this week. 2 volleyball, 1 soccer, and 1 football. To stay up to date on all the games I am covering, follow SmeeSports on Instagram and SmeeFist2024 on Twitter, and subscribe to the SmeeSports YouTube channel and enable push notifications to be notified when I upload or go live. McKinley up by 10, well in the driver's seat. And as well, follow Alliance and Marlington on their social media platforms to stay up to date with all of the events there, as once again, SmeeSports is a proud streaming partner of Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance, Alliance High School, and today, Marlington High School. 14-3, Niles McKinley through 17 serves. Cormel sends it over once again, goes too deep and misses. Buchtel gets the point. And Cormel will take a seat on the bench for the time being. Most likely what we're going to see, McKinley, they'll get 6-7 points. They'll be up 21, maybe to 6. And then we will see Cormel come back in. But Buchtel trying to make a comeback down by 9. They can make something happen. They need it to start right here. And too shallow on the serve. Whenever Buchtel has gained any bit of momentum, the shallow serves have killed the Griffins. Santiago bouncing, getting ready to work. She sends it over. The dive keeps it in the air, set towards the net, and Jones taps it down. A good response from Buchtel to keep it in the air. A slight scramble. The Griffins return it as Scrutchings bumps it. Jones lined up perfectly, skied, and into Buchtel's bench. Engel couldn't corral as Jones earns the point for the Red Dragons. In those tight battles, McKinley just knows how to get the best of Buchtel and put the Griffins down before they can cause any damage. That is the sign of a good volleyball program. And it's an ace for the Red Dragons. Santiago, once again, perfectly picks out a spot in the middle of Buchtel's defense. You see it on your screen once again. 2 players right near the high judge, 1 in the center. Put one of those girls right by the judge on the other side. Keep that girl central and keep them back. Keep a shape like that. Otherwise, you're inviting a spot to open up in the center, as it almost did once again. Returned into play, bumped over by Marino, and Marino gets the no-look point. Celebrations from the hitters of McKinley. They can feel the playoff victory. Santiago lines up and sends it over. Bounces on Buchtel's side, and the Griffins surrender the point. McKinley up 19-5 as they can get ready to book their bus to return to Marlington High School on Wednesday evening. Santiago sends it over. Buchtel needing some sort of response. Marino plays it back, hit over by Santiago. Easter forward, bumped by Scrutchings. Marino lines it up for the libero, D'Urso, and D'Urso gets the point for Niles McKinley. A great play by D'Urso as she takes McKinley into the 20s. And some substitutions made by McKinley. Cormel will stay on the bench. We thought there was a chance she would return right here, but if this crew can see it out, I think that is what McKinley will do. The serve low from Santiago. Buchtel will get possession, down 26. Once again, in 50 minutes, Marlington will play host to Cleveland Shaw, and you can catch the action live here on the SmeeSports YouTube channel and later on Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance via a replay. Buchtel, another point, down by 13. And once again, we thank the video production class for providing our staff today, as the whole point of this broadcast is to provide those students their first playoff broadcasting experiences. That way they can be better prepared to serve in that role later on in their careers, and that can help them create a better life for themselves outside of the classroom and after school. Scrutchings sends it over. Marino lines it up. Coupland sends it over the ceiling, playing tricks on Buchtel. They're able to return a good hit by Easter. It goes over. Samuel pushes. Set to the center. Jones picks out a spot. The dig from Scrutchings keeps it in play, but the return isn't there. Buchtel giving it their all late in set number 3, but not enough for the point. Once again, you have to appreciate this hustle from the Griffins. They are giving it their all despite the scoreline, and that you have to respect. Copeland sends it over. The dig keeps it alive, but the antenna ends it. 22-8 McKinley. 3 points separate the Dragons from a playoff victory. Copeland sends it over, but the net denies her. Buchtel, a late chance to hit double figures for the first time in the match. 5 points in set 1, 7 points in set 2. If the pattern persists, they will end with 9 points. And once again, the Griffins will take a mulligan. The serve too shallow. Possession will go back to McKinley. Buchtel will go into next year looking to continue rebuilding to get back into a place where they can compete in the Akron City Conference. Cormel back on to see the game out. Jones sends it over. Cormel maybe got a piece. It falls in Buchtel territory, and Niles McKinley can sound the final countdown. Niles McKinley, congrats to them on the playoff victory. They will improve to 7-16 on the campaign. Jones skims it off the net. Ball game. Niles McKinley takes down Buchtel 25-9 in set 3, winning the match 3-0 overall. A great performance by the 31 seed Niles McKinley as they begin their playoff run in style with a win. Buchtel, shout out to you. You fought in this game. You showed a lot of things that you can work on and a lot of things that you can easily improve going into next year. My advice, get into the gym, get some lifts in, get some improvement, and get ready for next year. You can be a good team. The talent is there. The coaching is there. You can be a powerhouse in the next couple of years. Just keep developing and just keep growing and keep your heads up. You made your school proud today. And so did Niles McKinley. Driving all this way, maybe a little bit late, but the drive from Youngstown, definitely not an easy one. I made the drive out to Girard from this area a few weeks ago. Not an easy drive. They made it here late, but the party started immediately when the match started. Your player of the game goes to Caroline Cormel as she dominated from start to finish, being a nuisance to Buchtel at the net. We will step aside for our first broadcast as Niles McKinley will dance on Wednesday against the winner of our second matchup, Marlington and Cleveland Shaw. This has been Marlington High School's production of Niles McKinley versus Akron Buchtel Volleyball, live on the SmeeSports YouTube channel, your official streaming partner of Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance and Alliance High School, along with Marlington High School. I have been Nathan Smee. Thank you for spending your Saturday morning with us here in Marlington, and we will see you in around 45 minutes for Marlington and Cleveland Shaw.